A video was shared on social media showing what appears to be pest droppings in the restaurant's kitchen.
Have you ever sat down for dinner only to wonder when it stopped feeling like dinner at all? There was a time when evening meals felt substantial. Warm plates, slow service, and food that satisfied more than just your hunger. But somewhere along the way, did we trade quality for convenience without even noticing? Today, we take a deep dive into which dinner chains are worth your evening and which ones quietly aren't. So let us start with the ones to avoid. 1. Applebee's avoid. Applebee's used to feel like a neighborhood gathering place, sizzling skillets, half-price appetizers, and that familiar hum of conversations over comfort food. It was the kind of place you'd meet friends after work or take the family for a casual dinner out. But the Applebee's people walk into today isn't the same place it used to be. Not in the food, not in the preparation, and not in the care behind either. The first signs are subtle. Steaks that arrive lukewarm, pasta that tastes reheated, and appetizers that seem to come out suspiciously fast. Former employees say much of the food now arrives frozen or pre-prepared, with fewer items actually cooked fresh in-house. The famous sizzling skillets, once a point of pride, now often contain pre-cooked proteins that are simply reheated and placed on hot metal plates. The sizzle you hear? That's often just water sprayed on the plate to create steam, not the sound of fresh cooking. One former line cook described the kitchen as more like a microwave station than a restaurant. The emphasis, they said, was always on speed. Get the food out fast. Don't worry if the chicken breast is slightly dry or if the vegetables taste like they have been sitting under heat lamps. Even their signature items have changed. The spinach artichoke dip arrives frozen in plastic bags, microwaved in portions, and stirred to look homemade. The loaded potato skins come pre-made and frozen, just heated through before serving. Health inspection records from multiple Applebee's locations show recurring issues with temperature control, improper food storage, and cross-contamination. In one case, inspectors found raw meat stored above ready-to-eat items, and in another, cooked chicken held at unsafe temperatures for over 2 hours. The drink situation isn't much better. Bartenders have admitted that many of the colorful cocktails rely heavily on pre-made mixes and bottom-shelf alcohol, masked with sugary syrups and artificial flavors. That blue Long Island iced tea might look Instagram-worthy, but it tastes more like liquid candy than a crafted cocktail. Applebee's still tries to sell the neighborhood experience, but what you're really getting is fast casual food at sit-down prices, served in an atmosphere that feels more corporate than community. 2. Chili's avoid. Chili's built its reputation on Tex-Mex flavors, sizzling fajitas, and those famous baby back ribs. For years, it felt like a place where you could get bold, satisfying food that didn't break the bank. But behind the colorful decor and upbeat music, the food preparation has taken some concerning shortcuts. Multiple former employees have revealed that much of Chili's meat arrives pre-cooked and vacuum-sealed. Those tender ribs? They're often boiled in plastic bags at a central facility, then shipped to restaurants where they're finished on a grill just long enough to add char marks. The fajita chicken and steak frequently arrive pre-seasoned and pre-cooked, then reheated on the flat-top grill. One former cook said, "We weren't really cooking, we were just reheating and plating." Temperature control has been a recurring issue. Health inspectors have cited multiple Chili's locations for holding cooked meats at unsafe temperatures, sometimes for hours during busy dinner rushes. The walk-in coolers, where raw and cooked items should be properly separated, have been found with cross-contamination issues. The famous queso, a Chili's staple, comes from industrial-sized bags of processed cheese sauce, heated in warmers that aren't always cleaned as frequently as they should be. Customers have reported finding the queso with a skin on top or an off taste that suggests it's been sitting too long. Even the guacamole advertised as made fresh is often prepared in large batches early in the day and stored in containers where it quickly browns and loses flavor. The lime juice added isn't for taste, it's to prevent the obvious discoloration that would give away how long it's been sitting. One of the most troubling revelations came from a former manager who described the pressure to serve food quickly, even when kitchen equipment wasn't working properly. If the grill wasn't hot enough, we'd still send food out. If the fryer oil hadn't been changed, we'd keep using it. The goal was speed, not quality. Number 3, TGI Fridays. Avoid. TGI Fridays wants you to believe every night is a celebration. Colorful drinks, loaded appetizers, and party atmosphere promise a fun dining experience. But the reality behind the kitchen doors tells a different story. The restaurant's reliance on frozen, pre-prepared foods has become almost total. Former kitchen staff describe opening boxes of frozen mozzarella sticks, jalapeno poppers, and even potato skins that just need to be heated through. The famous loaded potato skins aren't loaded fresh, they arrive preloaded and frozen. The burger situation is particularly concerning. Multiple employees have confirmed that burger patties are often pre-cooked in batches, then stored and reheated when orders come in. This process can happen multiple times, with patties going from grill to warmer to grill again, creating a texture that's more like rubber than beef. Health inspection reports have flagged Friday's locations for temperature abuse, with cooked foods held in the danger zone between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit for extended periods. This is the temperature range where bacteria multiply rapidly. The bar program, once a Friday strength, has also declined. Bartenders report using pre-made mixes for most cocktails, with fresh ingredients becoming increasingly rare. The colorful, Instagram-worthy drinks often contain more artificial coloring and corn syrup than actual fruit or quality spirits. One former server described the kitchen during dinner rush as controlled chaos, with food sitting under heat lamps for 10 to 15 minutes while servers waited for complete orders. By the time food reached tables, much of it was dried out or lukewarm. The cleaning protocols have also raised concerns. Multiple employees have reported that deep cleaning is often rushed or skipped during busy periods, with equipment and surfaces not properly sanitized between uses. 4. Olive Garden. Avoid. Olive Garden has built an empire on the promise of Italian-American comfort food. The endless breadsticks, bottomless salad, and "when you're here, your family" slogan create an image of warmth and authenticity. But the reality is far from the Italian grandmother's kitchen they want you to imagine. The pasta, Olive Garden's signature item, arrives at restaurants pre-cooked and frozen. It's then reheated in boiling water when orders come in. The sauces, including the famous Alfredo, come in plastic bags that are heated in hot water baths. One former cook described it as opening a bag and pouring it over reheated noodles. The breadsticks, while popular, aren't made fresh in-house. They arrive frozen and are simply heated in ovens, then brushed with garlic butter to create the illusion of fresh baking. The smell that greets you when you walk in? That's engineered, not natural. Health inspection records show recurring issues with food storage temperatures and cross-contamination. In several locations, inspectors found raw chicken stored above ready-to-eat salad ingredients and cooked pasta held at unsafe temperatures for extended periods. The salad bar ingredients often sit in bins for hours, with lettuce wilting and vegetables losing their crispness. The dressing, while unlimited, comes from industrial-sized containers that aren't always properly refrigerated during service. One of the most concerning revelations came from former employees who described the pressure to serve food quickly, even when it wasn't properly heated. Microwaves are used extensively to speed up reheating, but this often results in uneven temperatures, hot on the outside, cold in the center. The wine program, heavily promoted by Olive Garden, relies on inexpensive bulk wines that are marked up significantly. The wine experts are often servers with minimal training, and the pairings are more about upselling than enhancing the meal. 5. Red Lobster. Avoid. Red Lobster promises fresh seafood and coastal dining, but the reality is that most of their fresh seafood has been frozen for weeks or months before reaching your plate. The lobster tanks at the front of the restaurant are largely for show. Most of the lobster served comes pre-cooked and frozen, then reheated when ordered. The famous Cheddar Bay biscuits, while tasty, are made from frozen dough and rely heavily on artificial butter flavoring. Former employees have described serious issues with seafood handling and storage. Fish that should be kept at specific temperatures is often left out too long during prep, and the smell in walk-in coolers can be overwhelming. One former cook said, "If customers could smell what we smelled in the back, they'd never order seafood again." Health inspections have repeatedly cited Red Lobster locations for improper seafood storage, with raw fish stored above cooked items and seafood held at unsafe temperatures. The risk of foodborne illness from improperly handled seafood is significantly higher than with other proteins. The endless shrimp promotions, while popular with customers, put enormous strain on kitchen staff and often result in corners being cut. Shrimp is pre-cooked in large batches and kept warm for extended periods, often becoming rubbery and overcooked by the time it reaches tables. The two worth it. 1. Texas Roadhouse worth it. Texas Roadhouse stands out because they still do many things the old-fashioned way. Their steaks are hand-cut in-house daily, not pre-cut and shipped frozen. You can actually watch them cutting meat through the kitchen windows in many locations. The rolls are made fresh throughout the day, with dough mixed on site and baked in small batches. That warm, yeasty smell isn't artificial, it's the real thing. The cinnamon honey butter is made in-house, not from a pre-made mix. Former employees consistently report that food safety and freshness are genuine priorities. Steaks are aged properly, temperatures are monitored closely, and there's real pride in the preparation. The peanuts on the floor might seem gimmicky, but they're actually fresh and replaced regularly. The kitchen staff receives more extensive training than most chain restaurants, particularly in proper meat handling and cooking temperatures. Health inspection records show consistently high scores across most locations. While it's not fine dining, Texas Roadhouse delivers on its promises. The food tastes like it was prepared with care, not just reheated from frozen. 2. The Cheesecake Factory, worth it. Despite its massive menu, the Cheesecake Factory maintains surprisingly high standards for food preparation. Unlike many chains, they actually cook most items to order rather than relying on pre-prepared foods. The kitchen staff is more skilled than typical chain restaurant cooks, and the preparation is closer to what you'd find in an independent restaurant. The portions are enormous, but the quality is generally consistent with the higher prices. The cheesecakes, their signature item, are made in central bakeries but with genuine care and quality ingredients. The variety is impressive, and the taste reflects real craftsmanship rather than mass production shortcuts. Health inspection records show that most Cheesecake Factory locations maintain good food safety standards, with fewer violations than comparable chains. The higher prices seem to translate into better ingredients and more careful preparation. While the menu can be overwhelming and the calories astronomical, you're generally getting food that was actually prepared for you, not just reheated. The bottom line: the difference between these restaurants isn't just about taste, it's about honesty. The chains worth avoiding have built their business models on shortcuts, pre-prepared foods, and the hope that customers won't notice the difference. They're selling the memory of what dinner used to be, not what it actually is. The two worth visiting still treat food preparation as a craft, not just a process. They invest in proper training, quality ingredients, and cooking techniques that respect both the food and the customer. When you're choosing where to spend your dinner dollars, remember that you're not just buying a meal, you're supporting a philosophy. Do you want to reward restaurants that cut corners and hope you won't notice? Or do you want to support places that still believe dinner should be something special? The choice is yours, but now at least it's an informed choice. Your taste buds and your health deserve better than reheated disappointment served with a smile. Choose restaurants that still remember what cooking actually means. If this opened your eyes to what's really happening behind those kitchen doors, hit like and subscribe, because the truth isn't always on the menu, but it should be on your table.